Hi, Mark and Tamil Kenny with Think Multifamily. We're here to talk to you today about step 7, submitting your LOI. Mark?
So what's one of the key attributes of an LOI I think is important to a seller?
Well, let's first define what LOI is.
Okay, so LOI is letter of intent. Okay, so it's usually a 1 or 2 page document. It's non-binding, so it's not a contract yet. It's basically going to include the key terms of the deal. And you do that so you don't go through the effort of going through a 40-page contract and then the deal never works out. So it's a way to kind of get the seller to know kind of your key terms of what you're going to provide for the deal, and they can decide to move forward or not.
Right. So some of those key terms would include price.
Price is important for most people, yeah.
That's very important. So what are you going to be offering on the property? Right.
And along with that, you'll also have earnest money, right? How much earnest money you're going to put down.
Absolutely.
So typically it's going to be 1% of the purchase price is kind of the norm.
Okay, so EM, earnest money.
Yeah, earnest money. You're going to have, you might have a financing contingency.
Okay, can you tell our audience what a financing contingency is?
So a financing contingency would say if I can't get the terms from a loan perspective that I want, then I'm going to back out.
Okay.
I can tell you right now, in the market, it's very hard to really have a true financing contingency to say I'm going to go through the whole deal from front to back, and 3 days before closing, if I don't get the financing I want, I'm going to back out.
Right.
Most sellers are not going to accept that.
Right.
So we typically don't even put that in our LOI anymore, which makes it a little more competitive.
Right, which is one reason we talked in an earlier step, the financing contingency. If you bring in a mortgage broker ahead of time before you submit your LOI, you'll have a good feel of what your financing options will be.
You will. It may not be exact. They'll give you kind of a soft term sheet. Doesn't mean it can't change, unfortunately, before closing, but at least have
it definitely can.
a better idea.
Right.
The other part of earnest money here is whether any money is hard.
Okay, so we're talking about not hard money lending, but your earnest money going hard. Can you tell our audience what that means?
So let's say I put $100,000 up as earnest money, and $40,000 of that's going to be hard, which means if I walk away from the deal for any reason, the seller keeps it.
Okay.
Any reason's relative, meaning a couple things. If there's a title issue or survey issue, you might get that back, but it's also a timing issue. The other thing with hard money, the only time we've ever put hard money down is if we have what's called an early access agreement. So I'll call it EA.
EA, early access agreement.
So the early access agreement is put together. It's like a one-pager. It's put together before the contract is done. What it allows us to do is to go do all our physical inspection, at least audits and things like that.
Like the due diligence.
All the due diligence
Yes.
before the contract's signed. And so why would we do that? There's a pro to doing that. One, we can do that and find out whether we like the deal or not before we put hard money down.
Okay.
Disadvantage is we're spending time doing that.
Right.
We're spending money by having a due diligence team come in there, and we're doing it before the contract's put together. So what happens if you do all that and you can't agree on the contract terms?
Right.
Right. So that's kind of an issue, right?
Right.
What else, Cam?
So we also want to talk about your due diligence time, the amount of time that you're committing to have all of your due diligence done, whether that's 14 days, 21 days, or 30 days. Is there a reason why, in particular, Mark, that you would put 30-day due diligence period versus, say, even as low as 7 days due diligence?
Probably, we've done 7 before. I don't recommend it. It's like if you have everything lined up, because 7 days typically you're not going to be able to get through everything and get a report back to you. It's too short.
Right.
30 days is, a lot of people try to do 30 days. I think it's long, kind of.
Right.
Definitely 21 is kind of our sweet spot. Makes it a little more competitive. That it's shorter. But end of the day, you have to set up a crew to come in, roofs, electrical, plumbing, look at everything, right? It takes time to do that. It takes time for them to do the report.
Right.
So you need a certain amount of time to get through that.
Well, once the due diligence team comes in and they inspect everything, what's the time frame that they provide you the report on what they did?
It will vary, but you figure around about a week.
Okay.
Some
that
people are
includes
longer.
Budget as well.
The budget as well. You need the budget. That's critical.
Yes, for
So,
sure.
The other thing with the due diligence, I'm going to say list. So we ask for a bunch of information. Right.
You're asking for information from the seller.
Right. So, the rent roll, all their contracts, bunch of information. We have a list of all that in our contracts, right? Mm-hmm. I never put it in the LOI unless they ask for it, or rarely they do. And the reason I don't, I've seen LOIs people have sent to me to review, and they have all this information in here, and they list out like 30 items.
That they want from the seller.
That they want from the seller, right.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if I'm selling a property, I don't really care as much about that. But now I'm going through a list, wasting my time as a seller. And what if there, 2 items on there I don't have for whatever reason, which can happen. We ask for probably more than we're probably going to get. So I don't put it in there because it's just a distraction, in my opinion, for the seller. So only put it in there if they actually ask for it, in my opinion.
Okay. Or you put it in once you go to final contract.
Contract will have it for sure. We'll talk about contract in step 8. There's a lot more involved. This is kind of a short one, 2-page document. The contract's going to be a 40-page document roughly, somewhere around there.
Right.
So
the other thing that I wanted to talk about with submitting your LOI is talk to the listing broker. They should have a pretty good understanding about what the seller is wanting, whether it's how fast they can close the deal, whether it's how guaranteed of a close you are. Is the bottom line for the seller the most important, the price? If there's a $200,000 or $300,000 price difference between the number 1 bidder and the second bidder, well, what's the next thing they're looking at? Do they have a financial contingency? Are they requesting hard money down?
Right.
Is it $50,000 hard money? Is it $250,000 hard money? Is it day 1? Is it the day they sign the contract?
Right.
So there's a bunch of different components involved that the seller might be interested in. And if you talk to the broker, they should have a pretty good feel of what that seller's looking for.
They do. I'd say in some cases they don't, but generally speaking they do.
Right.
If a broker tells you, well, money's not really as important to the seller, it's generally speaking not true.
Well, and we've been in that position, right? We've placed a bid based on the things that broker said the seller valued, and we lost the opportunity because they actually valued something else.
Right, and in that case, I don't think the broker was, not telling us. In some cases, I don't think the seller really knows what they want in some cases until they actually see it.
Right.
And then they can react to it. So, but those are the main things, earnest money, what is hard or not, price. You have, financing contingency, early access agreement, due diligence, time frame, the list of items, talking to the broker, getting their perspective. It's, like I said, it's a short document.
Yeah.
But if you've never done one before, you need a template. We provide a template too in our training material as well.
That's right, we do.
That has things in there around hard money and verbiage you want to have in there if you're ever going to do that as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for watching step 7 and submitting your LOI. Stay tuned for step 8. Bye for now.
Bye.